We're starting now in that reclined position. Letting yourself just to feel heavy on the ground. Softening the muscles of the body. Perhaps you notice the sensations that arise as you just settle. Allowing ourselves to check in with the body, we develop this connection. Noticing what the body wants and needs. We can provide for it just a little bit more efficiently. Feel the breath moving in and out of the nostrils. And perhaps you notice as it moves all the way down into the base of the torso, the bottom of the rib cage. And the rib cage expands side to side, front to back. Just softening and listening. Feel the rhythm of the breath as you invite in the sense of present awareness. We let go of all worries of the past and concerns of the future and stay connected to this moment. And as we move through our practice, I invite you to keep coming back into this moment, here on the mat with the breath and the body. Let's go ahead, and if your knees are open wide, use the hands to scoop the thighs back up so the knees are up to the sky. And we'll all extend out nice and long, reach the arms behind you and the feet out in front of you. Take a big stretch in. And we're gonna exhale, take a banana shape over to the right. So what does that mean? If I was looking at you from the sky and looked down, you would look like a little banana. You're gonna shift your shoulders over to the right, and you're gonna shift your feet over to the right. But you want your left shoulder and left hip still heavy on the ground. So you really get that side stretch. You might feel comfortable crossing that left ankle over the right, you might not. And maybe you wanna use your right hand and hold on to the left. Take a few breaths here. Beginning to open up through the chest and the rib cage, creating space for a deeper breath. And then next inhale, walk it back to center. And then on your exhale, banana to your left. So shoulders scoop, scoop, feet scoop, scoop. The right ankle might cross over the left hand might hold on to the right wrist. Remember, your right shoulder, right hip are still heavy as you allow the breath to deepen through the side body. Few breath here. Feeling the whole body soften like it's growing heavier into the earth. And we'll we'll go ahead and bring it back to center on your inhale. And bring the hands back by the hips. We're gonna bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. And we're gonna take a few rounds of bridge, like rolling bridge. So we're gonna add a little pelvic tilt in here. So let the feet plant hip width apart, hands rest down by the sides. And you're gonna begin to pull the belly in. This is a posterior tilt, and let the low back press into the mat. And then you're gonna begin to anterior tilt. So feel like the tailbone reaches towards the heels, the low back begins to lift off the floor, and then press into the heels and lift the hips high. Now, as you exhale, begin to lower the hips down, take it into a posterior tilt. You'll feel the low back against the ground. And then anterior tilt, tail moves forward, press into the feet and lift. So you're taking a bridge roll with just like a little extra oomph, a little extra connection to the pelvis, which is a great way just to help neutralize any tension in that low back, especially in the sciatic area. Pelvic tilting is a great way to help you strengthen up through the pelvic floor as well and create some low ab floor. Keep going as you lower. The tailbone is tilting up, and then the tailbone reaches forward as you press into the feet and lift the hips high. We'll go 2 more times. And last one. Nice job. This time, once you're down, go ahead and pull the right leg into your chest. You're just giving your right leg a squeeze. You can hold on to the shin or the thigh. Try to let the head and shoulders be heavy. And you can stay here with that left knee bent, or you can extend the left foot long out in front of you based on what feels better to your body. Now use your hands and allow yourself just to begin to maybe sway that right knee a little side to side, opening up the hip. Maybe it feels good to take it into some circular motions. Just kind of listening in what your hip is saying. And if one area is really tight and you want to take an extra breath there, maybe you hold still for a moment. Imagine breathing a little life into it, a little space into it. All right, now you're going to take your hands behind the thigh. Remember, we've done this before. You're going to straighten the elbows, press the thigh into the hands, and you're going to pull the toes back to the shins and press the heel up towards the sky. So your knee might not straighten, and that is okay. But you're pressing through the heel, toes are pulling back towards you, head, neck, and shoulders are heavy. Thigh is pressing away from body, so the arms are straight. Now, keeping that thigh bone where it is, you're going to just begin to bend a knee, bring heel towards the seat, and inhale, reach the foot up to the sky. And keep going, nice and steady with the breath. Remember, you can be doing this motion with your left knee bent still if it feels better to the low back. Some sciatic nerve flossing. 2 more times. Last one. Now reach the foot up towards the ceiling or out in front of you, however feels best, and just point and flex the foot a few times. And then roll the ankle one way, and roll the ankle the other. Squeeze that knee back into the chest, and we're going to take a twist. So your option to take both knees in and twist to the left, or maybe you want to take your one leg twist, keeping that left leg long. Wherever you are, you're going to open that right arm out and let the shoulder be heavy on the ground. The gaze might follow in either direction. So you're just taking this final twist to the left. Up breath here. Breathe into any areas you feel that tension or that stretch. Last one. And we're going to bring it back to center. Pull the knee into your chest. And we're going to switch. We'll place the right foot down and pull the left knee into your chest. Once again, maybe you're starting with that right knee bent so that you can find that little length in the hip as you squeeze that left thigh towards the body. Remember, hands can be on shin or thigh based on what feels better to your arms. So let them relax down. If you want to extend the right leg out, do so. And then begin to play with some movement in that left hip, side to side or circulars. Just kind of creating some space here. Notice maybe if one hip is tighter than the other. I know it is for me. Just allow yourself to breathe freely. Make sure you continue that full breath. We're going to move into our nerve flossing. So let the hands come behind the thigh. Press the thigh away from the body, elbows straighten, head, neck, and shoulders relax. Pull the left toes back towards the shin. Press through the heel. Inhale, heel lifts to the sky. Exhale, then the knee, heel comes down. The knee does not have to straighten as you keep lifting and lowering. Go only to where it feels okay. This can become quite intense, so listen in and just do what feels all right to you. One more time. All right, next time, keep the foot lifted where you can and take some movements, point and flex, like you're pumping the ankle. And roll the ankle, maybe notice what you feel in the legs. When I roll my ankle, I can feel it all the way down into my calf. All right, and when you're ready, we'll begin to pull that left leg back into the chest. And we're going to take a spinal twist to the right. So open the left arm out, how it feels best. Remember, you can do single knee or double knee over to the right. Sometimes if you're working with any low back pain, it feels nice to have that left knee pulled up towards the body as well, or the right knee as well, so both legs. Any hums and haws that need to come out at any point, just allow your body to release that tension verbally. Take a few breaths here. We'll inhale, bring that knee back into the chest. Give it a good squeeze, both legs in. And now bring your hands behind the thighs and we'll rock a little forward and back. This might just be a very little motion. Maybe it's a pretty big motion. And if you can get enough momentum to come all the way up to a seat, do so. Otherwise, allow yourself to roll to one side and then press yourself up. We're gonna come into our tabletop position. So use your hands and your knees. Make your way there. Curl position. Knees are underneath hip or hip width apart. And if you look between the knees, you shouldn't see the feet. They're going behind the knees. Shoulders are right on top of the wrists and you're spreading wide to the fingers and pressing down through the whole palm. Let's begin with some rounds of cat and cow. So you'll inhale, drop the belly slightly as you lift the tail, lift the head. And then exhale, press the ground away, pull the belly towards the spine and spread wide through the shoulders. Keep going. Inhale, slide the shoulders away from the ears, broaden the chest. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail. If any other motions feel good to you here, allow yourself to take some organic movement. So if your body is calling for some side to sides or some circular action, whatever feels good, just stretch it out. Let's go 2 more times. And we'll come back to a neutral spine after that second exhale. We're going to tuck the right toes and stretch the right leg out behind us. Press through the heel. Give yourself a moment with those toes on the ground. Now notice as you're already here, your pelvis might tip forward, pull the belly in, feel the tail reaching down towards the heels, press the ground away firmly with the hands. You feel that left hip hugging in over the left knee to create stability to begin to lift the right foot off the mat. Keep those toes facing down. Imagine lifting from that right inner thigh. Take an inhale. Now you're going to exhale, step that right foot all the way over to the left. Let the left foot or the right foot come down and look over the left shoulder back towards the right foot. Take a breath here. And then we'll inhale, bring it back to center, and we're going to add some dynamic movement to this. So trying to keep the body nice and still, you're going to exhale, bring that right knee towards the right elbow. It might not touch. You're just squeezing the thigh towards the belly. And then you're going to exhale, step that right foot all the way back over to the left, let the toes tap. And keep going. Inhale, hug that right knee in towards the right elbow. Exhale, step it over to the right. Go 3 more times. Try to keep that left hip nice and still so you're really working the left glute. Yep, 1 more time. And then reach that foot all the way out behind you. And then exhale, lower the knee down. And we're going to take a child's pose. Open the knee wide, bring the feet low, let the palm face up towards the sky to relax those wrists. Maybe you pretend you have a stress ball in your hands and you squeeze and release. Remember, child's pose is a great place to come back to at any point during your practice. A couple breaths here into the belly. And then we're going to come back up to our hands and knees underneath hips. We're just going to do that same sequence on the last side that we did on the last side. Shoulders slide away from the ears, belly pulls in, press down into the ground, tuck the left toe, straighten out the left leg. Give yourself a moment here to find that neutrality in the pelvis, the strength of the core, that strength of the right hip. Begin to float the left foot up, lifting up from the inner left thigh. Still pelvis stays neutral. Lot of work. All right, now step the foot over to the right. Give yourself a breath and look over the right shoulder back towards that foot. Let's stretch out that side body. Let's take 1 more here. Bring it back to center, foot lifts. Now as close as you can, left knee towards left elbow. And then stretch it all the way over to the right. Remember, you're keeping that right hip hugged in. Keep going. Tap and lengthen. All right, last one. Reach that leg back out behind you. Inhale and exhale. Bring the knees down to the mat. Let's bring the knees together and we're going to tuck all 10 toes. Maybe bring your seat closer to the heels. That's going to be a big stretch for the foot. You can keep yourself lifted off the feet if you would like. We're going to play with stretching the wrists a little bit. So begin to bring those fingertips out toward the outside edges of the mat, and you can allow yourself to sway a little side to side here. And if that feels good, then you can allow the fingertips to face back towards the knees. And maybe just bend and straighten the elbows. A little bit of movement here. All right, and then release the hands back forward. If you can still stay on your feet, all tucked toes. Bring the top of the left hand to the mat so the fingertips are facing back towards you. And then you're gonna imagine once again creating those fists. So like you're squeezing a ball and releasing. And then we'll release that left hand and we'll bring the right palm up, fingertips face the knee. And just squeeze and release. Just open up the forearms and the wrist here. Hopefully distracting you a little bit from the sensations of the feet. All right, bring your hands back down and we're gonna make our way toward downward dog. So take your time, you're gonna walk back to your tabletop. Maybe you stretch out the feet into a plank and then lift the hips, or maybe you just lift up from your tabletop. Both of those options are perfect. Take your time here, make some move, pedal those feet, wiggle out those hips. Allow yourself to enjoy some movement in the body. Appreciate the first moment of an inversion in this practice today. The top of the head stretches towards the thumb so your neck is nice and long. Not going to touch, obviously, it's just lengthening. Imagine the shoulders sliding towards the hips. Keep spreading wide through those fingers and really press down through each fingertip and the whole outer ridge of the palm. We'll go 2 more breaths here. Oh, Booker wants to play. All right, nice and slowly, lift high onto the balls of the feet, heels lift up off the ground, hips are stretching high. Now you're gonna bend the knees, hips come down low, look forward, and you're gonna make your way to the top of the mat. So you can take lots of little steps. You could take one big step, you could take a hop. Feet are hip width apart, and you're gonna lift up halfway at the top of your mat for Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Soft bend in the knees, press back through the thighs, and let the weight shift forward to the balls of the feet. Feel the low belly still pulling in those low ribs, knit in, as the shoulders slide away from the ears. All right, now your gaze is facing down towards the mat. You're gonna imagine that that my hand is right behind your head, about 2 inches hovering above the back of the head. You're gonna imagine trying to press the back of the head up towards my hand or up towards the ceiling, and then release it back to neutral. So essentially you're doing what we call these chin tucks. You're gonna press the back of the head up towards the sky, and then return. Press it up, and return. I'm gonna check on you guys. Keep doing it. Gaze is down. You're just pressing the back of the head up. And returning. Good. Strengthening these deep neck flexors. This is really great for your posture, especially if we sit a lot at the desk. Let's go 2 more. Last one. All right, bend the knees, fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Whew. How about you? I was feeling that in my legs, holding that pose. Give yourself a moment for ragdoll. Maybe you hold on to the opposite arm, sway side to side, shaking yes or no. Couple breaths here. I release the hands if you're holding on to them. You're just gonna let them dangle towards the mat. You're gonna bend the knees, sink those hips, pull up from the belly, and begin to roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Chest is the last to rise as arms are just dangling. Eventually your chin lifts up, shoulders roll up, back and down, palms are forward for your Tadasana, standing mountain pose. The 4 corners of the feet are rooted. Spread wide through the 10 toes. Give yourself a moment, sway side to side, front to back. Notice the weight distribution. Maybe you take a few circles one way, and then the other. Right now, as you come back to stillness, pause here. Find that central point. We're gonna lift the shoulders up towards our ears, lift the ears, and then exhale, roll back and down. Lift the shoulders to the ears, and roll back and down. One more time. Now we're gonna add the whole arm. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bring them out and back and down, circling those arms 2 more times. Last one. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Your right hip might pull back as you look over towards the right. Arms are out long. And then inhale, lift the arms back up to the sky and come back to center. And exhale, open arm twist to the left. So that left arm pulls behind you, right arm out in front. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then exhale, bend the knees and fold over the legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Stand up, reach up, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Equal balance, feel the weight balanced between the feet and the hands here. Perhaps you set an intention for your practice or for your day. How would you like to arrive into the space, into the world, in your community? Inhale, arms high overhead. Exhale, imagine you're like a cactus. You're gonna bend those elbows, open up to the chest, lift the heart, but inhale here. And then exhale, take the hands back behind the low back, interlace the fingers, press the knuckles down towards the earth, lift the heart high. Squeeze the glutes towards one another, the belly pulls in, big inhale. Now we're gonna exhale, fold over the legs, soft bend in those knees, lead with the heart. You can let those hands rest on the low back, or you can bring them down to the ground if it feels more secure for you. If your hands are at your low back and you want to imagine stretching them up towards the ceiling for a big shoulder stretch, that's an option as well. Still find that balance between the four corners of the feet. Remember, your knees can bend here as much as you need to in this forward fold. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. And let it go. Release the hands to the ground, lift up halfway, maybe they're to your chins. And then exhale, plant the hands, step back. We're gonna come into our plank pose. Remember, with plank, you can have your knees lifted or lower. Wherever you are, you're pressing back through the heels, pulling up from the low belly, reaching the heart forward as the shoulders slide away from the ears. Keep pressing the ground away. Imagine spreading wide across the back body here, like the shoulder blades spread wide. We're gonna hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hug the elbows towards the waist, begin to lower all the way down to the belly. Point the toes back. Set up for Bhujangasana Cobra. As you press the top of the feet into the mat, engage the belly, and inhale, peel the chest off the ground. And exhale, lower down. We're gonna do 2 more times like that. Pull that belly in, inhale, lift the chest, slide the shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, lower. Last one. And exhale. Tuck the toes, press up your plank. Maybe knees are down, maybe are lifted. And then lift the hips up and back, down facing dog. Stretch them high. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. Bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward. Walk, step, or hop the feet to the top of your mat. Lift up halfway, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. This time, just sweep up in one big line. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. We're gonna go again. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, hands behind the low back. Maybe you take the opposite interlace. Inhale here. Exhale, fold over the legs. Hands might lift off the low back. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands come down. Exhale, step back to your plank. If your shoulders bother you at any point and you do not want to do the hands behind the back, know that you can always just bring the hands to your hips. All right, press back through the heels, head and heart forward. Take another breath here. And exhale, let's lower down to the belly. And we're gonna set up for wide arm cobra. So hands are gonna come off of the mat. You're gonna pop up onto your fingertips like little spiders, lift the elbows towards the ceiling. Keep pressing down through the tops of the feet, pull the navel in, and begin to lift the chest off the mat on your inhale. You might go a little higher this time. And then exhale, lower back down. Again, inhale, lift the chest. This time, hold it up. And then exhale, dip the right shoulder in and look over towards the left. And then inhale, lift back up. Dip the left shoulder in, look right. We get one more time on each side. Right shoulder, look left. Inhale to center. Left shoulder, look right. Inhale to center. Exhale to lower. Take it back, plank pose, hands underneath shoulders, tuck those toes, strengthen the core, press up when you're ready, and then lift the hips up and back, downward dog. During a vinyasa, so that's the lower to the belly, if at any point you would like just to take cat and cows, that's always a really great option to do as well, just so you know. One more breath here in your down dog. Bend those knees, lift those heels, look forward, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Fold on the exhale. And inhale, stand up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Step the feet together if it's comfortable for you. Otherwise, this is a great place to use your block in between your thighs. We're going to take chair pose. So wherever you are, if you're holding that block between your thighs, squeeze block. If you're having your knees together, squeeze the thighs together. You're going to stand up nice and tall. And inhale, reach the arms up overhead, palms face one another. Now on your exhale, bend the knees and send the seat low, like you're sitting down into a chair. The weight is in the heels. You could even wiggle the toes a little. Soften those low ribs so they're not jutting out and opening the rib cage. You're kind of keeping it contained, keeping that core engaged. Deep breath in, keep squeezing those glutes, squeezing those thighs, feeling the feet planted nice and firmly. One more inhale. And exhale, fold. Straighten the legs with the head and heart heavy. Now remember, if you're keeping your block here, just keep it here for a moment. We're gonna do this one more time. All right, bend the knees, lift up halfway, sink those hips. And when you're ready, begin to lift the chest. Maybe your fingertips brush the ground as you lift the chest and the arms. And you're into another chair pose. Squeeze that block, sink the hips. Lift out from the chest as you knit those low ribs in. Take an inhale here. And we're gonna exhale, open arm twist to the right, bring the right arm behind you, left out in front of you. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale to the left. Inhale, bring it back up. All right, if you can, 2 more times on each side. I have faith in you. And stay with it, even though it gets difficult, even though it's a challenge. You connect with the breath and pay attention to the rhythm of the arms. Last one. Come back up. So a little lower exhale. Press into the feet, stand up, reach up, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, grab your block if it's there, place it down in front of the body. So you're in a half lift with the block underneath your hands. If you can reach the ground and you just want to use your fingertips on the ground, that's perfect as well. You're gonna place your left hand underneath the heart, bring your right hand to your hip, bend the left knee a lot and twist the chest open to the right. So you're getting a little stretch here as you pull that right hip back into that right side of the leg. Keep extending the tailbone and the heart away from one another and keep twisting the heart to the right. If it feels good to your right arm and you want to reach it up to the sky, that's always a great option as well. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. Bring right hand back down. We're going to switch it. Right hand is underneath the heart. Left hand comes to hip. Right knee bends a lot. Left leg is straightening as you pull the left hip back and opening the chest to the left. Feel length, tail to head, big inhale. Exhale, keep twisting. If you want to lift your hand, do so. Usually we begin to feel something here on the outside of the left leg. Take another breath. Exhale, bring the hand down. Lift up halfway, move your block out of the way, and exhale, fold. Lift up halfway again. This time bend the knees and plant the hands and step to your plank pose. We're gonna lower half or all the way. So your option, whether you want to take your vinyasa to the next level, you can. Untuck the toes, you're gonna lift the heart for your cobra or your upward dog. And we're gonna slowly begin to make our way back to our downward dog. So take your time, stay strong in that core. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more. All right, step those feet together. We're in a 3-leg dog. Lift that right foot up and back. Stretch it out. Feel both hips square to the mat, both shoulders square to the mat as you just stretch that right foot high. Left knee, it can bend. Left heel can be heavy. Feel free to stay here or bend that right knee. Open the hip towards the right as the knee opens towards the ceiling. Big stretch on that side waist. Take a breath. Stay here or take that right knee all the way towards the right elbow as you slide a little into a plank. And then lift it up and back. And then take it across the body to the left. Lost my headphone. And lift it up and back. And then step that knee all the way forward between the hands. So if you need to use your right hand to help your right foot get forward, do so. Lower the left knee and tuck the toes. Pull those feet towards one another. Feel that low belly pulling up in. As you begin to press into the feet, lift the body. Maybe the arms come overhead, maybe they stay to your thighs. Sink the hips low. Reach the heart up. Slide the shoulders down the back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. Exhale, hands to the ground. Using your block, straighten the right leg. Let the right toes float off the ground for a half splits. So your hips are back over that left knee. Right toes are lifting. That right knee can bend as much as you need to. Head and heart reach forward. Maybe you fold a little, maybe you don't. Yep, hands can be on blocks. And maybe you want to play with deepening the stretch. So how might that seem? That you can wiggle that right foot over to the right. You can wiggle it over to the left. By wiggle, I mean sway it. So your toes are like a windshield wiper a little bit, going side to side. And maybe one this feels tight and you want to pause there. All right, bring the foot back to center. Walk the hands forward as you bend that right knee. We're gonna tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, and step back to your plank. Maybe you move through a vinyasa, maybe you slide to downward dog. Take a few breaths. Taking your time, moving mindfully. We'll meet in our downward dog. We're gonna go to the next side. Step those feet together, lift the left foot high. Give yourself a moment, stretch it out. So you might be pressing that inner right thigh behind you, letting that right heel feel heavy and lifting the inner left thigh up towards the sky. Knit those low ribs in, feel the crown of the head lengthen. Stay here, bend the knee, open the hip. Knee is reaching up towards the ceiling now. Shoulders and hips are square to the mat. Take another breath. Maybe stay here or take that knee all the way over to the left elbow. Let it tap. Lift it up and back. Maybe you take it over to the right. Let it tap. Lift it up and back. On the center, can you step that foot forward between the hands? Use your left hand if you need to. Lower the right knee down. Untuck the toes. Pull those feet towards one another. Strengthen up from that pelvic floor. Low belly strong as you press into the left foot to lift the body up. Hands to the hips, the thighs, or straight up overhead. Letting those hips sink between the legs. You're still keeping strength in the legs by pulling them towards one another. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale, hands down, half splits. Walk the back. Walk the hips back over the right knee. Straighten that left leg. Blocks are also helpful here underneath the hands. as you pull that right heel or right toes back to you, dig that left heel into the ground. Right sit bone pulls back, head and heart reach forward. Take a couple breaths here. Still finding the length in the spine, gaze travels down the tip of your nose. Maybe sway the foot side to side. Yeah, a couple more breaths. All right, we're gonna send it forward. Bend the left knee, place the left foot down, and this time you're gonna step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Stand up, reach up, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. We're gonna go again. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, step the left foot back, set up for your warrior two. So the heel's gonna spiral down. You have a heel to arch alignment. Right knee is over ankle. And when you're ready, press into the feet, stand up, chest faces the left, arms out wide. Give yourself plenty of space between the feet. Sink those hips, right knee over ankle. Let that left hip really sink and spiral the left inner thigh around. So it's like that inner thigh is pressing behind you as you press the pinky toe on the left foot down into the mat. Let your gaze travel over the right middle finger and imagine pulling those feet back towards center. So the feet are pulling in towards one another. Take an inhale. Exhale. The right palm, let's reverse it. Reach the arm all the way overhead as the left hand comes down towards the left thigh. Keep sinking those hips, opening up the whole right side body. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, come back to center, warrior two. Let's reach it forward, bring the forearm to the thigh, reach the left arm all the way overhead, extended side angle. Let the hips sink here as you keep squeezing that right knee open. Long line of energy from the left heel to left fingertips. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more. You're gonna take your left hand down to the inside of the right foot, twisting onto the ball of the left foot. And you're gonna spiral open, lift that right hand to the sky. Know that you can always lower the left knee down here if you would like. Find length in the spine with each inhale and begin to twist a little bit more with your exhale. The gaze might even look up toward your right thumb. One more breath. All right, exhale, bring your right hand down. Step back into your plank pose. Modified or lifted, and then lower your vinyasa if you want to, or take a downward dog. And we'll all meet in our downward dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, right foot lifts, and you're gonna hug that knee into the chest. Let that left heel lift, send the weight forwards. You can step that right foot all the way by the hands. Maybe you also have to use your right hand again to help you. All right, so just like we did a moment ago, you lowered that left heel down. And we're gonna this time spiral up to your warrior two, but straighten the right leg and let the toes all face the left side of the mat. You're in star pose. Yep. Beautiful, star pose to the left. All right, now you're gonna bring your hands to your hips. Heels are going to turn in, toes are at a 45-degree angle. All right. We're going to take booty on a Ferris wheel. All right, guys, ready? You're going to squeeze those knees open and sink the hips low. You're in goddess. Your chest is lifting, shoulders slide down the back. And now you're going to begin to move the hips to the right and then sink the hips low and lift up towards the left. Just going to make these little circles like literally your booty is on a Ferris wheel. Going up and around, opening the hips, strengthening the glutes. You stay soft around the neck and the shoulders. 2 more times. Last one. All right, sit down low for your goddess. Lift the heart, inhale, and exhale, straighten those legs, fold over. Toes are parallel, so the heels go behind the toes. Just take a gentle little fold here. Hands can walk back in between the feet, or they can hold onto the legs. Another deep breath in, and a deep breath out. We're gonna lift up halfway. Walk the hands to the top of the mat so you look all the way forward. All 10 toes face forward. Step left foot to the top. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Lift up halfway. Next side, right foot steps back. Set up for warrior two. Heel spirals down. Lift the chest, arms out wide. Keep that left knee bent over the ankle. Remember, lots of space between the feet. Pinky toe seals down. Pull those feet toward one another as you sink the hips and soften through the shoulders. Gazes over that left middle finger. Taking a moment here to build some stamina, some steadiness and ease. Flip the left palm, let's reverse it. Right hand down the right thigh. Left arm stretches overhead. Stay strong in those legs. Imagine pulling them together, sinking those hips. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Lift it up. Reach it forward. Bring the forearm down to the thigh. Extended side angle. Right arm reaches towards the top of the mat. Palm is down. As you let the hips sink, roll the right side rib cage back. Chest is broad. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. Coming into our low revolved lunge, you're going to place your right hand down on the inside of the left foot. Spiral to the ball of the right foot. Open that left arm to the sky as the chest opens to the left. Remember, your right knee can always lower down here for some extra support. One more breath. All right, your left hand's gonna come down. We're gonna step back for a vinyasa of your choice, or take a down dog, or take a child's pose. I'm gonna go to child's pose. You. We'll move to that vinyasa. Take a couple breaths. One more. All right, if you're not in down dog, let's lift back up. Okay, it's gonna be the left foot that lifts this time. Stretch it out, big inhale. And exhale, step that left foot forward. Spiral the right heel down. Just like you're lifting up into warrior two, cartwheel those arms open, straighten the left leg, and then parallel the left toes to meet the right. You're in that star pose. Big inhale. Then exhale your hands to your hips. Bring the heels in and sit low again for that goddess squat. Knees open out wide. Heart is high. And we're gonna booty on the Ferris wheel to the other side. So you're gonna go to the left, dip it down low and lift it up towards the right and just circle it around. Have some fun with it as you open up the hips here. Maybe really flowy, kind of like a snake in the upper body. I don't know, your thing. I just like the name. All right, 2 more times. We're gonna come back to goddess and sink those hips, knees open wide, take a big inhale, and exhale, forward fold. Maybe you want to take your wide leg forward fold, like wide leg down dog, and stretch the arms all the way out in front this time. Let the weight be in the heels, thighs lifting up and back. Big body stretch here, open up through those ribs. One more breath. Walk the hands back. Turn to the top of the mat. And you're going to step it forward. And we're gonna lift up halfway. And we're gonna exhale, fold. Stand up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, so let your weight shift to your left foot. And begin to bend the right knee and lift the right knee up towards the hips. So you're gonna open up for your tree pose, opening the knee to the right and bringing that right foot to the left leg. Maybe that's the ankle, maybe that's the calf, or maybe it's the thigh. Hug that left hip in and stand tall. You can take any variation maybe with your hands here. Yes. Nice. Feel the gaze steady as you hug that left hip in. Imagine lifting up out of the left hip. If you're feeling really nice and open in those hips and nice and steady, you can bring your left hand to your hip. Your right peace fingers can come down to your right big toe and zipper up the body and just open up the hip so that knee is coming up. Yeah. If you want to stretch the leg out, maybe go to the side as we've opened the external hip here. Yeah. Let that hip sink. So the right hip isn't lifting higher than the left. Keep pulling the left hip in. Just an option. All right, if your leg is extended, bring it back in. And we're gonna we'll all bring our right knee back to center. And then lower back down for your Tadasana, hands by the side. Wiggle it out if you like to. We're gonna move to the next side. So your right foot is nice and grounded. You're gonna press into that right heel. Remember, hug that right hip in and imagine lifting the rib cage off of the pelvis as you begin to lift the left knee. Yep, you can have your hands at your heart or hands on your hips. You're gonna open that left knee wide. Take your tree pose. Give yourself a moment. Remember, you can just use your heel on the ankle with the toes tapping down. And that way, if you begin to fall out of it, you can kind of just let your toes touch and hover. Sometimes that's a really nice practice there. If you want to lift your arms, lift your arms. And if you want to really get into that hip opener, you're gonna bring your right hand to your right hip. Your peace fingers to your left hand are gonna reach down for your left big toe. Remember, once you reach down, you want to pull up from the pelvic floor, pull up from the belly to help you stand tall. And then you could stretch out the leg if you want to. Also, just taking this little froggy squat is a really nice way to really still get in that hip flexor and even just prep yourself for the next option of extending. My leg doesn't want to do that on this side today, so I'm going to stay in this option here. Take a couple breaths. And wherever you are, we'll begin to return. So you're gonna let go of the foot if you have it. Bring the knee back to center. We'll all open or close the hips so the knee's back at the center line. And then lower it back down. Take a breath in. You're in your Tadasana, nice and steady. Maybe one more. Let it go, you side out. All of that part is over. One more side. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms high to the sky. And exhale, fold over the legs. Lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Give yourself a moment here. Let the upper body completely relax. All right, lift up halfway. Your hands might come to your shins. We're gonna take the feet nice and wide, bring the heels in, toes out, and then begin to sit low. So you can use a block here underneath your seat for your Malasana squat. Your heels might lift, and that's okay. Maybe you sink the hips, bring your hands to your heart. Yep, very nice. It's a deep squat here, great for your digestion in your belly. Few breaths. Breathe into that opening of the hips and the opening of the pelvis. Soften around the neck and the jaw. Nice and slowly. You're gonna bring your hands forward so you can come off your block if you're on it and use your hands to help yourself come down to a seat and bring the feet all the way out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall, spiral those inner thighs down, and lift the head and heart. Shoulders flat on the back. You can use a block here underneath the knees to help provide a little ease and support. Take a big breath in, and exhale. If you want to, fold over the legs. Maybe you just let the belly sink towards the thighs, the heart reaches towards the toes. Hands can rest on the ground beside you, or maybe it's in your practice you want to hold onto your ankles or your feet. That is perfect as well. A few deep breaths here. Okay, inhale, begin to lift up. Slide the block out from underneath you. If it's there, you're going to place your right foot on the ground. Okay. We're going to try something crazy. Are you ready? You're going to put your right foot on the ground. You're going to bring your right hand back behind your hip. You're going to press into that right foot and try to lift your left hand and your hips high off the ground. So maybe it's just a little bit, and that's perfect. Maybe you press into that right foot and lift high like your wild thing, lifting the hips far off the ground. But just know it doesn't have to go high. You're still pressing out of that right shoulder, pressing into that right foot. Take a breath. And then we'll lower the hips back down. Yep. And then open that right knee out. Let the leg lay down with the sole of the right foot on the inner thigh. Twist the heart towards the left knee and fold. Couple breaths here. Okay, lift it back up. Scoop that right knee in, extend the leg out. We're going to do the next side. Bend the left knee, place the left foot down. Left hand back behind you. Right arm's going to lift with your inhale. Press into the feet. Lift the hips. Remember, it might just be a little bit. Maybe you're just reaching, and that's beautiful as well. Maybe you lift those hips all the way out for a wild thing. Press into that left foot. One more big breath here. And we'll slowly begin to lower it down. Open that left knee out. Sole of the foot to the right thigh. Take a big inhale. Twist the heart towards the right knee and fold over the leg. Allow yourself a moment to settle. These forward folds give us the opportunity to get just a little closer to ourselves. Maybe you recall your intention, or just follow the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, begin to lift the body up. Scoop the left knee up. You're going to bend the right knee, place the right foot on the floor. Try to bring those heels as close to your seat as you can with squeezing those thighs together. Wrap the arms around the shins and try to lengthen up through the crown of the head. So you're trying to stretch that spine nice and long. You're going to inhale, release the right arm and reach it high to the side. And then exhale, twist the heart towards the right as you bring your right hand behind the right hip. Press down like a little kickstand to lift the heart up. And then twist just a little bit more. Maybe the gaze goes over the right shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. Breathe deep into the base of the rib cage, so open and wide. One more. And we're going to unwind. Come back to center. Bring that right arm, wrap it around the shins. And we'll go to the next. So inhale, reach that left arm high. Exhale, take it behind you so you can lift up and lengthen and twist. Look over the left shoulder. Take a breath here. Once again, keep breathing deep into the base of the rib cage. Bring it back to center. Wrap that arm around. curl into a tight little ball. Maybe bring your chin to your chest and around the spine. Take a breath here. And we'll inhale, begin to lift up. And we're going to make our way onto our back for your Shavasana. If you prefer to take a seated meditation, you can just sit up here instead of laying down. So that is your choice. Otherwise, you can lay down and begin to make your way to your back for Shavasana, using whatever props you might like. Giving yourself a moment just to let go of the effort, to let go once again of worries of the day, and just give yourself fully to this moment. If your mind wanders, just allow it to just keep focusing on that exhale. Allow yourself to invite some breath, deeper breath back to the body. Maybe invite some movement by wiggling the fingers or the toes. Take a big stretch, reach the arms overhead. And we'll slowly begin to make our way back up to the seat. So however that feels best to you to get there, take your time. And just give yourself a moment to check in. Check in with the body, the mind, the breath, and just notice all that has occurred through and during the yoga practice. We come to this place and we allow ourselves to bring an awareness to the present, but we also challenge ourselves. We build stamina and strength, determination. We also find courage and ease, maybe even some peace and joy. Buddha reminds us that we are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. And when the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. Let your hands stack either at your heart center, maybe on top of one another at the heart, just getting a little more connection to within. Show yourself some gratitude. Take a deep breath into the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And we bow. Thank you so much for practicing. Doggo butt. Doggo butt. Thank you everyone for practicing today.